Flip phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
What do YouTube? B. Kelly back again with another banger video. In today's video, y'all, I am going to be talking about 5 highly touted recruits coming out of high school who didn't quite pan out or meet expectations that were expected from them while in college. Now, this is part 4 of the series. I will leave the other parts of the videos I have made previously in the description down below. And before I move on with the video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K. Now let's get into it. The first player I am going to be talking about in today's video is running back from the 2013 recruiting class in Derrick Green. Now, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings, he ranked as a 5-star recruit, the 27th best player in the nation, and the number 4 running back as well. He was highly sought after as he had a total of 34 offers coming out of high school. He held offers from schools such as Michigan, Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, and Arkansas, just to name a few. He would end up choosing Michigan. There were some early concerns about Derrick Green at Michigan early on in his career, as he showed up to Michigan at 240 pounds, a 20-pound difference from high school, and there was some concern. And as a freshman in 2013, he was primarily a backup, in which he had 83 rushing attempts for 270 yards, which is 3.3 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. He would get off to a good start in 2014 as a sophomore, but after 6 games, he would suffer an injury, missing the rest of the season. But that was his best season in college yet, when he had 82 carries for 471 yards, averaging almost 6 yards per carry, and 3 total touchdowns on the ground. As a junior in 2015 for Michigan, he would be a backup yet again and really not get that many touches on the ball, as he had 47 rushing attempts for 157 yards, averaging 3 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. After this season, he would grad transfer to TCU for his senior year in 2016, and in that season, it wasn't so much different as the season prior, except he had 38 carries this season for 141 yards, averaging almost 4 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. That was ultimately the end of his playing career. Next up, we're going to go to the 2017 recruiting class and talk about quarterback Jack Sears. Now, in this class, he ranked as a 4-star recruit, the 105th best player, and the number 4 pro-style quarterback in the nation. He held a total of 26 offers coming out of high school, and he would end up choosing USC. To start off his college football career, he would end up redshirting as a true freshman in 2017. In 2018, for USC as a redshirt freshman, he would play in 1 game and start in 1 game, in which he played pretty well in, completing 20 of 28 passes for 71% completion rate, throwing for 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. That was the only game he would play in all season. In 2019, as a redshirt sophomore, he did not play football as he focused on concluding his business administration degree. After not playing football in 2019 to focus on his degree, he would end up transferring from USC to Boise State. In 2020, he would play in 3 games, starting in 2 of them, where he completed 85% of his passes, throwing for 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. But he was still primarily a backup for Boise State. So far in 2021, he's the backup quarterback for Boise State. He has played in 1 game and has attempted 1 pass, in which he completed 0 of them, for a pass completion of 0%. Sticking with the 2017 recruiting class, the next player I am going to be talking about in today's video is Joseph Lewis. Now, Joseph Lewis is a wide receiver from this class. He ranked as a 5-star recruit, the number 31 player in the nation, and the number 4 wide receiver as well. He held a total of 33 offers coming out of high school. He held a variety of offers from schools such as USC, Nebraska, Oregon, Alabama, and Arizona, just to name a few. Out of all of his offers, he would end up choosing USC. Going into his freshman season at USC, many people thought he was going to be an immediate impact player in the future of USC football for the wide receiver position. He was someone that had a lot of potential and someone that could really change their passing game and the way that they play football, especially in the future. As a freshman in 2017, he would play in 4 games. We had 4 receptions for 39 yards, averaging about 10 yards per reception. He was expected to make a huge jump in his game and a bunch of improvements to help the team out for 2018, but unfortunately, this would be his only season at USC. Lewis would end up getting in trouble with a domestic violence case that officially ended his career at USC. Since then, he has not played a single down of college football. On to the 2015 recruiting class, we have the #1 athlete in the nation, 5-star recruit, the 27th best player in the nation in Terry Godwin. Now, Terry Godwin held a total of 21 offers coming out of high school. He held offers from schools such as Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, and USC. When it came down to make a decision about where his next step would be in his football career, he would end up choosing the in-state team and staying in-state and committing to Georgia. Terry Godwin would be an immediate impact player as a true freshman for Georgia in 2015, as he played in 13 games, had 35 receptions for 379 yards, averaging almost 11 yards per reception and 2 touchdowns. He even had 37 rushing yards, averaging 5 yards per carry and 1 touchdown on the ground as well. In his sophomore campaign, he put up similar numbers as he had 38 receptions for 397 yards this time, averaging 10 yards per reception and 0 touchdowns through the air and on the ground this season. In 2017, as a junior, he would have his best year production-wise in college so far, as in 13 games played, he had 38 receptions for 639 yards, averaging 17 yards per reception and 6 total touchdowns through the air. As a senior in 2018, he was expected to make a bigger jump and have his best season yet, but he would revert back to his older seasons, but he also had less receptions as well. As in 12 games played for the Bulldogs, he had 23 receptions for 385 yards, averaging almost 17 yards per reception and 3 touchdowns through the air. He would finish his career at Georgia with 1,800 yards, 13 yards per reception, and 11 total touchdowns through the air, and 12 in total if you count his 1 touchdown on the ground as well. By no means is this a bad career. It's actually pretty solid. It's just not something you expect out of someone that was highly touted and a 5-star recruit. Going into the 2019 NFL Draft, he wasn't seen as one of the top players in his position, and he was seen as someone that was going to be a day 3 selection to potentially undrafted free agent. He would get drafted, however. He is the only player in this video that would end up getting drafted in the NFL Draft, as he was taken in the 7th round by the Carolina Panthers. He would be a part of the final roster cuts for the Carolina Panthers heading into the 2019 NFL season, and shortly thereafter he was picked up by Jacksonville. In 2019, he would spend the entire season on the practice squad with Jacksonville. For the 2020 NFL season, he was originally on the practice squad for Jacksonville, but he would end up playing in 3 games for them in 2020, in which he had 3 receptions for 32 yards, averaging almost 11 yards per reception, and 0 touchdowns. Currently, right now in the 2021 NFL season, he is on injury reserve. The final player I'm going to be talking about in today's video comes from the 2016 recruiting class, and he's the only top 10 player in this video, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite Rankings. That's none other than Levonte Taylor. Now in this class, like I said, he is a top 10 player nationally, as he ranked as the 7th best player in this class, a 5-star recruit, and the #1 player in his position. He held a total of 33 offers coming out of high school from schools such as Florida State, Arizona State, Auburn, and Clemson. He would end up choosing Florida State. He would be an immediate impact player for the Seminoles as a freshman in 2016. Despite battling injury issues throughout the season, he would still play in 12 games, in which he played solid with 16 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 pass deflection. In 2017, as a sophomore, he played in 13 games, in which his playing time increased a lot, and he had 18 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 interceptions, as well as 3 pass deflections. In 2018, as a junior, he was having his best season yet, but after 8 games, his season was officially over after having an injury. But this was his best season yet. He had 19 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 interception, and 3 pass deflections, and as well as a 1 forced fumble. In his senior year, he would have his best season yet, and it was a good way to cap off his career as a Seminole, as he had 37 total tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception, and 3 pass deflections. He would have a solid career, but it was not a career that you would say was necessarily from someone that was a top 10 player in his class. It was still very solid, even though his main problem in his career was injury issues. He would finish his career with 90 total tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 10 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble. He would go undrafted in 2020, and he was picked up by the Giants, but was released before the season even began. Well, guys, if you guys have made it this far into the video, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly, out.